Well, thanks for joining us. I'm Deb Yorkman, and today's supply chain hero is Gaby Richman. Thanks for joining us, Gaby.
Thanks. Glad to be here. I'm super
Oh,
excited.
I'm so glad that you could join us. What? I'd like to just start off by telling us a little bit about your role here at SDI and how long you've been here.
Sure. Been with SDI for a little bit over 3 years. I've had several roles here in my short time. Currently, I am the new account manager and director of HyperCare. So it's been quite exciting over the last 3 years that I've been with SDI. It's been a huge change. We've progressed a lot, so it's been great. It's been a fun roller coaster, is what I like to call it.
The hypercare team, that's the first team in when we're onboarding new clients.
That's correct. So my team is pretty much the at the top of the crop. They're the experts in what they do. So what we do is whenever we're integrating with a new client, my team is responsible for making sure that they troubleshoot any problems during that integration. As the client comes on board, we make sure that our suppliers are properly set up, our POs are going out on time, that we're communicating any issues with the client. So during that period of time, the beginning stages of our new clients, we are holding the hand through the entire process to ensure that there aren't any holes or any gaps in the beginning stages of our relationship with our clients.
And that's huge. I mean,
Yes,
for change management, especially because sometimes it's a big change for people to go from doing it the old way to managing their MRO and their PPE this way. So, what attracted you to SDI 3 years ago when you joined?
honestly, it was the knowing more about digital MRO. I mean, I know MRO and supply chain. I knew about it, but I didn't know what digital MRO was. So I think that that's what intrigued me to it.
Yeah, I mean, so you were in the industrial supply chain business. What's been
Yeah.
your biggest surprise since coming on to SDI?
Honestly, it's been knowing that if our clients don't have a robust MRO plant, it could truly affect their entire enterprise. I think, if anything, what we do shows that we're valuable, we're needed, we're important for our clients. So I think that was an eye opener for me.
I mean, that's been especially true over the course of the last year during the pandemic when we see that a lot of our customers are essential to the
Mhm.
infrastructure of our economy. And so your team making sure that the process is set up right from the beginning for them to get the maintenance, repair, and operations materials that they need, the PPE that they need to keep their plants running is crucial. So
Absolutely.
it's good work that you guys are doing.
Yeah,
Um,
and if anything, the pandemic has shown how important that we are and how important when it's what we do is needed.
Absolutely. So, as you reflect on this really strange last year, um, the pandemic, what have you learned? What's a big takeaway that you've learned, either in supply chain or in life in general?
I think, to be honest, COVID has affected all of us, right? Whether it's education, whether it's our work environment, whether it's our entertainment options,
Right.
it's everything has changed. So, if anything, for me, COVID was more of a wake up call. And all my personal life as well as at work, we understanding how, we have to be ready. We can never be too ready for the unexpected, right? We know what being in a disaster is. We know what having a spike on demand is. We know what having shortage of product is. But we never had it the way that we had it during COVID, right? It was all of us at once. So I guess knowing how to juggle and understand um, what we truly have out there, the resources that we have out there,
Mhm.
partner with our suppliers, pick up the phone and call, build those relationships. I think, if anything, it's been one of those things where we've come together. I think as an organization, as my team, I think that's one of the things that I'm proud of the most, is that during COVID, we came together as a team. We realized the value that we bring to our clients, the need that they have for us to be there in the front lines, picking up the phone, making those calls out to suppliers, finding out why their shipments are late, staying long hours. We realized how much we were needed. So I think, if anything, that was it. It brought us together. And I think it's one of the things that I love the most is that it truly brought my team together.
That is, I mean, and it's inspiring the way that everybody has come together for this
Absolutely.
across the company. So,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. It's great for sure.
oh yeah, and because because we have the technology to do it, and we weren't doing video calls and things like that
Exactly.
at this kind of cadence, definitely before COVID, but now it's just kind of normal. So
It
I
is.
don't want to say it's our new normal because it just keeps changing, right?
It is. It is.
Change is constant. Aside from the pandemic, have there been any challenges at SDI that you and your team have overcome, and how did you cross it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were throwing challenges at us almost on a daily basis, right? Just from our suppliers,
Hmm.
unfortunately, we had a few suppliers that were really affected by the pandemic to where they had to close.
Oh,
So
okay.
now we were left with, the unfortunate of having to deal with that and also finding ways and what are we going to do now? Where are we going to get the product from? How do we resource it? What do we do?
Hmm.
So I think that was the biggest thing for us is knowing how to juggle the balls in the air that we have, right? And understand that it affected a lot of us, but there's other options out there for us. So we were lucky. I think we were lucky.
Yeah, I mean, especially from a sourcing perspective, being able to have the secondary suppliers and the
Absolutely,
tertiary suppliers already lined up. Like you said, being prepared, even when you don't really need to be prepared.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
important, especially for supply chain. We have to have that second go-to, right? Because if things go wrong with the direction that you're heading, you have to have a backup plan. Um, you know, if you're in a shutdown situation, you can't go back to the client and say, "I'm sorry, I couldn't find your product." The line is
right.
down. It is a severe situation, so you have to have options for you. So we were lucky that with the systems that we have that allows us to have multiple options available for certain manufacturers or certain commodities, I think is big for us. What helped us throughout the pandemic.
Absolutely. Pandemic aside, though, what's something you're really proud of accomplishing in your time at SDI?
I think it's to see how far we've come. To from where we started to where we are now. When we started our team, we had this visual of this centralized model that's the only way we were going to do things, and then things changed, and now we've evolved to where we are now. I have team members that are working all across the state as opposed to all being in the same location. So I think
Hmm.
that it's that's what's been the greatest thing is how far we've come, we've evolved, how much we've changed, and how much we've learned too throughout this process. Rewarding aspect of us, and how much we've evolved, I think.
I mean, the HyperCare program itself was kind of
Absolutely,
a evolved from a need. It's like we need
it did.
to special attention at the beginning, and boom, HyperCare was born.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we didn't have hypercare started a few months prior to COVID happening.
Hmm.
So we had already, the taste for how hypercare was supposed to be and how much it was needed. But
Hmm.
then truly once we got hit with the pandemic, then we really realized how much that was actually needed and how it helped us. Even
Yeah.
pandemic, onboarding new clients, we were able to onboard clients throughout the pandemic, which was unprecedented for us, I believe. I think we did a great job with that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you should definitely be proud. I mean, the fact that we're keeping our clients open, helping them maintain their production lines, and not just
Absolutely.
manufacturers, but schools and
Absolutely.
yeah, so and retailers.
Hmm.
So being able to support the economy like that is crucial, and we're definitely we all should be really proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you know? I mean, because you're you talked about being centralized, so usually your team is housed in Bristol, the
Correct.
headquarters. How do you know that what you guys are doing is making a difference for the customer? Do you guys get to interact with the customer?
We do. We get to interact with them almost on a daily basis, right? Where
Oh,
my team is kind of like on the front line. So we get to hear the good and the bad at the same time, right? We get to hear that, oh my goodness, you know what? I've been waiting for this finally got here. I have my lines back up and running to where my package is late, where are we with this? So we get to hear and deal and interact with the clients. And I think that that's what makes us so good as a team is that we are open. Our communication with our clients are open. We tell our clients where we are in our process. If we're late for something, we tell them why. We bring them into our world, is what I like to say, so that they themselves can see where we are, so that there's no questions, no insecurities, no concerns of what we're doing. I think that a lot of the times that's what it gives it gives that sense of I can't find the word that I'm trying to look for, that gives them that sense of unease. Because they can't see their purchasing managers aren't on site anymore. They've relinquished that to our team, so they don't have that visibility. But by us having that open communication with them and bring them into what we do, it gives them that ease that, okay, they're handling it, they're taking care of it, our product is coming through.
Yeah, that's been one of the things, the messages that we try to communicate from the marketing perspective is that it might feel like you're giving up control, but you're actually gaining more visibility into your supply chain. You get to see all the different points in the supply chain continuum, and then we'll give you that visibility so that you actually end up having more control in the end.
And also visibility of the good opportunities and missed opportunities, the cost savings that we bring and the stuff that we're missing out on. So yeah, absolutely. They love that. They actually enjoy that and feel comfortable in knowing that we're doing what we're here to do.
That is exciting.
It
Is
is.
that the most rewarding part? What is the most rewarding part of your job? Is it?
Knowing at the end of the day that what we do makes a difference, not for our business, but overall, by knowing who our clients are and what they do, right? I'm thinking end result, end product, when the stuff is on the shelves and consumers are grabbing it from the shelves. Knowing that I played a part in that, in making sure that the product was there. It's, I think, the most rewarding for my entire team and, of course, myself.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, we're all a part of something bigger here, and
Yeah,
it's good to feel that impact for sure.
it is. Absolutely.
Now, you've been here for a little while, and you talked about the growth of the company, and we are growing by leaps and bounds now, it seems. What advice would you give to a new recruit coming in?
Um, Become a sponge. This industry is not easy by any means. I think if anything, you have to have that drive, that want to know that it's not going to be easy. You're going to be tested. You're going to be challenged. You're going to have to stick your neck out sometimes. So just become a sponge, learn from the people around you, ask questions. I think if anything, we've learned also with this pandemic how important training is to our staff and how much is needed for our staff. So beefing up that and making sure that we provide that to our new hires is very important. But if anything, I will say, know that it could be challenging at the beginning, but it's a very rewarding picture at the end. So becoming a sponge and soaking in as much as you can and then going from there.
Awesome advice. Thank you so much for being here with us, Gaby Richman.
Thank you so much, though.
Mhm.
Take care.